Hello! Welcome to an Everything I Made in 2020 video. I managed to make 29 garments, 2 of which were for other people, 27 of them were for me. Because I am a #selfish sewist. I'm okay with that. So in January, I started out by making this white short sleeve shirt. I used Simplicity 8447. I made kind of a modified version of it. I chopped the sleeves off and cuffed those. I also took out the pleat in the back by just folding that and then cutting it in one piece. So I also used a cotton rayon blend. It's a little bit on the sheer side, but I really love this shirt. It's one of my favorites and I reach for it all the time. So one thing I would change about this shirt, actually 2 things I would change. It's just a little bit unflattering around the waist. It's kind of baggy, so I will increase the darts for the next one. And the other thing I would like to do before I make it again is also to extend the length of the shirt, only because it likes to kind of come untucked when I'm doing things and I want my shirt to stay tucked in. So the next thing I made in January was actually this plaid flannel cotton dress. My buddy Ruth Marie and I decided that we wanted to go to Harry Potter World at Universal and we wanted to look like Ravenclaw alumni. So I made this dress after seeing her version of Simplicity 8460. It's just a simple dress, but it's got 10 darts, so it's nice and fitted through the waist. I did take special care to plaid match everything, all the stripes, so I'm really pleased with how it came out. I did kind of experiment on the skirt fitting part of it. I thought to myself, maybe I need to do sort of a full hip adjustment rather than just grading from the waist out to the hips, only because there's such a difference between my waist and my hips that if I just grade out, I get a weird little bubble of fabric, and I think it's having to do with the grain being so extreme there. So I decided instead of grading like that, I would basically make the skirt plenty wide enough and then increase the size of the darts, sort of like when you do a full bust adjustment. Overall, I think this experiment was a success. I just have to kind of perfect that at some point. So of course, to go along with this dress, I also made a little black bolero, sort of a nod to the Hogwarts students' capes. I used Butterick 6682, and I did use a knit fabric that I got from Joann's. It's sort of a medium weight knit. It's some kind of cotton poly blend, I believe, but I really like this bolero. It's so cute. I do think I could have used some more structure in the collar and also in the cuffs. I didn't line it because I figured, oh, it's sturdy enough. I might go in and add some cotton just inside just for some more stability, but it's good enough as it is right now. And those were my projects for February. So moving on to March. I made this coral L'Amour dress, sort of a sarong type dress, using a coral and metallic gold fabric from fabric.com. I made this dress to visit a Tiki convention in Atlanta called Inu Hele, which was very fun and a great last outing of the house before we all got locked down. I did have some issues again with the side of the hip. I need to just take in that weird bubble of fabric, and I also have some excess fabric above the butt in the back, which I'm finding is a very common problem for me. I think what that means is that my butt is kind of low or something. Or maybe it's just fuller lower than a lot of patterns are drafted for. I don't know. I need to fix it at some point, but I'm not planning on going to any fancy outings anytime soon. So I also made this Hawaiian shirt from my husband Jonathan, also for the Tiki convention. I used Simplicity 1544 and I used a cotton fabric from Hawaii Fabric Mart. Actually, I used the reversed side of it to give it kind of like a more vintagey look. This shirt pattern is really good. I do have to fix just right around the collar a little bit. The neck still needs to be perfected, but overall very happy with how this turned out. And I did actually steal that shirt one day because I was tired of dressing up. So I think I might make myself some shirts like that in the future. So in March, I also sewed 2 peasant blouses using Butterick 4685. I actually sewed them both in one day. I cut them, sewed them, they were done in one day, which is, I think, a new land speed record for me. 2 garments in one day, start to finish. Both of the fabrics are a rayon from Joann's, and these are just really, really great for fleshing out my wardrobe. They're nice enough to wear to work, virtual work. They're also really cute, they're comfortable. And my last garment in March was Butterick 6700, and I used a Chartreuse linen rayon from fabric.com. This is another piece that fits me better now, which is pretty awesome. But I do want to add shoulder pads. It looks authentic, but without the shoulder pads, it's like just, there's something off, you know? So I'm gonna add the shoulder pads, and then I think I also want to shorten the sleeves, maybe an inch or so. I feel like they just look a little bit long on me. So in April, I made this forest green Dorothy Bolero, and the fabric is from Joann's. It's just a piece I wanted to be able to put on for my Zoom calls, my work calls, and cover up my shoulders and my chest a bit. I really like this pattern a lot. I do think I need to size down maybe. It doesn't quite fit perfectly in the neck area. I think it's just a little bit big in general, so I am gonna size down. So in April, I also made a pattern called the number 9 Brony? This pattern was gifted to me by How to Do Fashion, and they have a lot of lovely vintage inspired patterns, so check them out. I wanted a piece that was gonna kind of fill my Dapper Day from home requirements, and I really like this top. I do need to add another button or a snap at the bust closure. The other thing I need to do is also take in the waist a bit. I usually just belt it and it's good to go. So I think it was also around this time I decided I needed some more wardrobe staples, and I really needed a pencil skirt. So I made this navy wool pencil skirt with a wool remnant I had in my stash for a while. And the skirt pattern is Simplicity 2196. I have to tell you that this skirt is one of my absolute all-time favorites I've ever made. It fits me so well, and not quite straight out of the package, but many fewer adjustments than I normally need to do. Let me just wax poetic about this pattern for a minute. The way that they have the darts in the back, it fits my butt. The hip curve is, you know, it's not just round and then straight down. There's a slight dip right under the hip before the legs, sort of like how actual bodies are, a lot of bodies. I certainly have that little dip there, and it just fits so well. So the one thing I will do a little bit differently is just add a tiny bit more ease in the waist. I'm laughing because I need to fix the hook and eye. It popped when I sneezed, so that's how you know your skirt's a little bit too tight. I love the little button flaps. I think they're so freaking cute, and I really love this skirt so much. So I also sewed this little white rockabilly wrap top, and you might recognize this pattern from my pinup in fall video. So the white one I made, I did not increase the bust size. I don't really know why. I think I couldn't remember if the pattern had been adjusted or not, so let that be a lesson. It fits, but it doesn't fit fantastically. Someday I probably need to remake another white one, but I did feel pretty good about my modifications I made. So basically this fabric, it's actually the same fabric from my Simplicity 8447. It's a little bit on the sheer side, so I decided I wanted to double it. But this pattern actually has you finish the raw edges by using seam binding, and so I decided rather than doing seam binding, I would just sew 2 of them and then sandwich them together as a lining essentially. So that's what I did. So moving on to May. So I made what I call my picnic dress because it reminds me of a picnic. But I used a large scale gingham buffalo check from fabric.com, and this is a beautiful fabric. It's soft and it's not sheer, which is great, and it's just got a nice drape. Really love this fabric. I will also try to link that down below. So for this one, the only modifications I made were to do a full bust adjustment. I will say I will add a bit more to the bust in the future when I make this again. And the only other thing I would change would be to add a little bit of elastic, just because the straps, they're just plain cotton, so they do stretch out over time. And also the seam is a little bit uncomfortable on my shoulders. I think mainly because I don't wear a bra with it and the gravity, you know. So basically I just need to put some elastic in the straps. So in June, I made what you will probably, hopefully recognize as my librarian vest. I used McCall's 7056, and I really, really like how this turned out. I do need to fix the peplum. I think I forgot to adjust it when I did my pattern alterations, so whoops. So in July, I made these upcycled shorts. They're sort of 40s inspired, almost skirt-like. I had this long maxi denim skirt in my closet since I was a teenager. And I got this skirt at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, of all places, like the battleground gift shop. I had cut the elastic at some point because it was so tiny in the waist. It just wasn't great quality to donate. So it was so much fabric that I decided I could probably make something out of it. I did some kind of playing around with where I wanted the tiers to kind of line up on the shorts. And I ended up using Butterick 6354, I believe, as sort of the main short pieces. But anyway, I really love how these turned out. I think they're super cute. They're a little bit big in the waist. So someday I may take them in, but for now they're just gonna be how they are. Okay, so that was it for July. So moving on to August. I sewed this black keyhole blouse you will recognize maybe from my video. It's from the 40s. I got it from Mrs. Depew on Etsy, I believe. And I used a linen. Overall, I was happy with how it turned out. I do think I will work on the keyhole a bit more if I make it again in the future. The sleeves weren't as drapey as I would have liked them to be. They kind of stuck straight out rather than having that nice flutter. If I make it again, I will use a fabric that has a little bit more drape. So in August, I also made my lemon play suit with fabric from Minerva. I really love how the trim and the fabric look together, and I love the overskirt. I think the whole thing conceptually, I'm very happy with. My one beef is that it's too short. I thought I had added enough length or altered the crotch curve enough, but I didn't. So at some point I will add a waistband. So thank you to the person who suggested that in my Facebook group. Okay, so moving on to September, my birth month. I made 2 of the Claire wrap tops, which is a pattern from Subversive Femme on Etsy. And they're super cute little wrap tops. They've got ties at the shoulder, obviously. Oh, and actually, fun fact, so the yellow fabric, that's the same fabric that I used for my husband's Hawaiian shirt earlier in the year. The black one is a crinkle linen from Blackbird Fabrics. The shoulder ties, I think I want them to be a little bit longer just because sometimes it can be a little short. So I will lengthen those in the future. But overall, I still really like this pattern a lot. So I also made this dress, which you may be familiar with. I've wanted to sew this pattern, as I mentioned in my video, for years, but I didn't feel like I had the time, the money, the occasion, even the right fabric, the skills. I just didn't feel ready. And then this year I was like, you know what? I'm sewing this. So I did. I kind of made it in honor of my 30th birthday. I used a rayon cotton blend, also from Hawaii Fabric Mart. I don't think I would really change anything about this dress. I do really love how it turned out. So in October, I decided I wanted to make some kind of fall color things. I actually knit this little top. It was my first knit project of the year, completed. And it is a beauty school top from Poison Girls. I am very proud of the fit that I achieved with this little top. It's definitely the best fit I've achieved from a knitting pattern so far. I really love this little top. Someday I definitely want to knit one in like a white and really get like a classic sweater girl kind of look. Anyway, more on knitting later, at a later date. So you may also recognize my rockabilly wrap top and my circle skirt I made for fall. So the top was made with a cotton, just a simple quilting cotton, and I got that from fabric.com. I really like this color. It's just a beautiful burnt orange kind of color. And then of course, to go with that, I made this circle skirt out of a flannel cotton flannel. The color was called Fudgesicle on Mood. More circle skirts from me in the future, hopefully. I may do some more like half circles or 3/4 circles. Any of the projects I have a video on, of course, I'm gonna link somewhere. So I had originally intended on making my Western outfit as a Halloween costume, kind of. That was gonna do double duty in my wardrobe as not a costume. It didn't happen, and so it got pushed to November, but that's okay. I absolutely love this pattern. I do think the crotch is like insultingly low though. Basically, I used a stretch cotton twill from Mood. That is one I would advise caution with because it was so stretchy that some of my seams are starting to kind of degrade a little bit, and I've only washed it in the washing machine one time. So it's gonna have to be a hand wash piece. Both of them are gonna have to be hand wash pieces, which I hate hand washing stuff, so I haven't made a video about these trousers, but I hope to do so, maybe this year. They turned out really great. I actually borrowed my altered crotch curve from my Western pants for these houndstooth trousers because when I looked at the crotch curve on the pattern straight out of the package, I was like, no. I am much too high-waisted for this to work. In the end, I am very, very happy with the fit I achieved with these. They're so comfortable. And this fabric is just a dream. It's a linen houndstooth, but I will say, it's a dream asterisk. It was a bitch to sew with. Like, not really to sew with, so much more to cut. Oh gosh, so shifty. Anyway, the pants are great, and I made my own covered button. I do have a video tutorial about making covered buttons without a kit, if you're interested in that as well. I'll link it. My second completed knit project of the year was this lovely dotty cardigan, also from Poison Girls. And I made this for Ruth Marie for her birthday, for an early birthday present. I really love how it turned out. The fit is so, it was just drafted, designed so well. I love the looser fit up top and then the sleeves and then the more fitted waist. I definitely want to make one for myself. Anyway, it fits really well. She loves it. I love it. I'm jealous that she has it now. Happy birthday, Ruth Marie. Okay, and then in December, I kind of switched gears a little bit and I did a lot of crocheting, so I didn't get a ton of sewing done, but I did crochet some snowflakes and they were my own patterns. I'm very proud of how they turned out, and I sewed them on to this Bolero, which is also another Dorothy Bolero. And I'm just so in love with how it turned out. I love the symmetry of the snowflakes. You know, at first I was kind of debating whether or not I wanted to do sort of an asymmetrical kind of thing, maybe just on one side, but I decided I really like the symmetrical kind of motifs because it kind of reminded me of like folk garments actually a little bit. So I made the red dress too. You know, at first I was gonna sew some snowflakes to the dress, and then I was really sad when I was thinking about how I would only be able to wear it like in December, maybe the end of November. And so I decided rather than sewing the snowflakes on the dress, I would just do a bolero. And then I was thinking, okay, I've got a Christmas bolero. Why don't I make some more boleros to go with it for the rest of the year? So I'm thinking about making like a tropical kind of one, maybe like a 4th of July style one. I do like to have a bolero if I've got like a sleeveless dress like that, just for work purposes, so I'm not so exposed. If you have stuck with me this whole time and listened to me blab about all my projects, then thank you. Looking forward to making some more stuff, more videos for you, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Bye!